start with a quote that I heard from a CTO at a $1 trillion asset manager based in the US that really stuck with me. We trust two guys with a well-documented GitHub page more than we trust some of our largest vendors who struggle to give us a product manual. Let that sink in for a minute. Now, for those of you on the client technology side of the industry, you're probably like, yeah, that guy has a point. And you might think that those of us on the vendor side would be a little uncomfortable with that, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't find this disturbing at all. I find this really exciting, and I'm going to tell you why. One of the things that we really see out there in the industry nowadays is this huge shift towards IT. People are looking to IT to really drive the business forward. Morgan Stanley and Oliver Wyman put out this great paper last year talking about the big shift across the front and back office to IT headcount to help go and make cool things happen. And that's the real big thing about this, is that IT people, technologists, and developers go about addressing these challenges differently. So when we think about infrastructure and how that's really changed over the last 5-10 years, we've moved away from big metal compute and heavy middleware. We're now doing everything in the cloud. We're using HTML5 and JavaScript, containers, Open API. We're using all sorts of cool new database technologies. And the fun part is these technologies aren't just being used in the most cutting edge parts of a bank. They're actually being used at firms big and small. They're being used the front, middle, back office, buy side and sell side. Because what are we using these for? We're using these to go out and solve workflow challenges for users. That's really what we're all here to do, is to solve workflow challenges for users. And if you want to take this technology and feed it to do that, what do you need? Well, we need data. We all need lots and lots of data. And it used to be there were only one or two big boxes that you could go to for most of your data needs. But the data monolith is really starting to crack and shatter, and there's a lot of new entrants to the data space. There's also all these new alternative data providers out there slinging content like ESG data, credit card data, cognitive computing, all sorts of really cool things. And the thing is, we all need this data, whether we're using it to go out and generate alpha or we need it for risk and compliance. So if you've gone out and blown up your infrastructure tier and you've opened up your data tier, what about the application tier? Well, two big things there. The first is the open desktop, the thing that we're all here to celebrate at Fin.js, and how desktop interop is really letting us go out and do cool and amazing new things, creating federated solutions. At FactSet, we're really big believers in the idea of desktop interop, and we've taken the FactSet workstation and put it on Open Fin. I'm going to give you a quick demo of that in a little bit, but it's something we're very excited about. The other thing is an insistence on an API for all the things. If you don't have an API for all the things, what you've really done is you may give someone a great user experience on which they can go out and operate, but you have not given them a platform on which they can go out and build and scale and grow their business. This is another thing at FactSet that we feel very strongly about, is that people need that ability to scale. So last fall, we actually released our first major API product release. We released our analytics API, which allows you to programmatically interact with our industry-leading portfolio analytics, risk, and attribution engine any way that you want to use it. But the last part is, what else do we need to make all this interop work? We need standards. So thank you to FTC3 for coming and talking about standards, because without standards, interop is a bit of a pipe dream. So we all need to go out and really focus on how we can help reinforce FinOS and FTC3. FactSet has joined FinOS. We're contributing to the efforts to make a big push around context passing and intents and financial objects, because that's what our users need for all this technology, open technology, to really be successful. So we at FactSet strongly believe that the future is about being open and driven by technology. So that's really been our goal over the last year or two, is to pivot away from trying to give you a box and instead give you the content and data and analytics in the places and using the technologies that you want to use. So that starts by embracing a philosophy of being open. It moves to embracing open technology ourselves and publishing out our solutions using open technology. It's about opening up our data tier so that third parties can easily integrate to our data model, making it easy for you to take more data into your ecosystem. It's about opening up our products to technologies like Open Fin, creating APIs for all the things so that people can use these in new and interesting ways. And it's about new commercial models that help reduce commercial friction so you can go out and build and develop without being slowed down by your vendor partners. Because at FactSet, what we really want to be able to focus on is being the one central hub where we can help provide you the best first-party and third-party content and really focus on being an analytics and content firm. That way you can then take all of that, take your choice of technologies, and go out and build really cool things. We really feel strongly that by empowering developers, you will find the best ways to help create change at your organizations. So with that, let's do a little demos. We need a couple demos here. So what we have running on the screen here is our FactSet workstation. We distribute this to 130,000 users around the globe today. We've rebuilt it using HTML5 over the last couple of years. We've now liberated it from our workstation, and we have it running in Open Fin. So lets us do cool things like pop out windows. We then take those windows, we can dock them, we can move them around, we can put them into tabs. It's all the cool stuff that a user who's going to be using your Open Fin apps expects them to do. So we've now taken the same functionality that we had done in our workstation years ago. We're doing it with Open Fin. But because we're in Open Fin, we're also participating in the Open Fin bus. As you go ahead and put in securities, change around, change stock tickers, we're blasting that out to the bus, so that way your any other applications you have running in your federated ecosystem can take advantage of that. We think that's an incredibly powerful thing for making our users' lives easier. We're also taking advantage of the layout services and channels within Open Fin. We know that's really important to a lot of users. This is in a private beta, well, public beta right now. We're going to be releasing it in a month. Please do check it out. It'll let any FactSet user use FactSet in Open Fin. All right, skipping ahead now. Let's talk about FactSet OMS. So a couple years ago, we bought an OMS provider named Simba. We bought a great EMS provider called Portware. We are building the FactSet OMS, which brings the best of the two of them together. We're building the front ends in HTML5 because that's the right way to build apps nowadays. We're using Open Fin as the container through which we're going to publish it out. So what you see up here is an early version, but we've got blotters, we've got trade tickets, we've got market depth, we've got ticket creation, things that you guys are used to seeing. But the fun part is this is going to be a big commercial product released by us that will participate in your Open Fin ecosystems, fully backed by the power of FactSet. All right, the last thing. Let's talk about opening things up. This is our portfolio analytics suite. If you've never seen this before, it's a really powerful tool that helps risk managers, PMs, and others slice and dice portfolios, look at weights, characteristics, attribution, all that really fun stuff. People love the app. People told us for years, I want the data lots of other ways. I don't just want to use the app. So, like we said, last fall we released the API version of this. It's the same APIs that power the application. You can take it in and use it in tools like Tableau, Microsoft Power BI. You can take the API, build your own applications and portals on top of it. You get the power of our engine and the way that you want to use them. So trying to open up the box, letting your users use the application the way they want to do it with all the other data and things that you already have in your ecosystem. Okay, so let's wrap up on a couple fun things. First, developer portals. Developers love tools. You want a place to go find things. Developer.factset.com. Store's a little thin right now. It's got that analytics API, but you're going to see a lot more things coming over the next few months. So please do go check it out. It's got API documentation, API sandbox, SDKs, all the things that you would expect, with a lot more coming to the shelves later. The other big part is open data. Check out our Open FactSet Marketplace, open.factset.com. It's got our 25 commercial content sets, over 30 third-party content sets fully integrated into our data model. You can quickly download them, play around with them, look at the documentation, videos on all of them. It's a really cool place to go see what's out there from the data side of the world. Also putting up new solutions there. You'll probably see our Open Fin stuff up there when we release it next month, so keep your eyes peeled. And that's what we got, so thank you very much. Follow us on social. If you think that you've been talking about anything cool today, we're in the back and would love to speak to you at the end of the conference. Thank you, guys.